All right, let's take a look at the 5-number summary. So the idea behind the 5-number summary is we want to determine or look at how the data is spread out, not just focusing on the lowest and highest numbers. So we want to look at how the data is spread out, not just focusing on the lowest and highest. And the way that we are going to do this is we are going to divide the data into quarters. Hi. Okay, so how this works, we literally will just divide the data into quarters. So if we have, let's say, 8 data values, then the first quarter, we'll split that 8 into 4 quarters. So we'll split those 8 into 4 groups of, if we do 8 divided by 4, we get 2. And so we'll have the first quarter will contain the 2 smallest numbers. And then the second quarter, the next 2, etc. So we're going to do this with an actual data set. In my opinion, the easiest way to order a data set is to just put it as a dot plot. So again, we have our usual 0 to 10. We have a dot at 10, then it's 6, 7, 9, 4, 6, 3, 6, 8, 9, 8, 7, 8, 4, oops, that was not the right plot. 6, 9, 2, 4, 7, 9. So here's our dot plot. Now, if we have 20 data values, then that means that if we split that 20 into 4, so split into 4 groups, so we get quarters, we would have 20 divided by 4, or 5 in each group. So what we are going to do is just find our 5. So our first 5 dots are here, right? The 2, 3, and then 4, 4, 4. Our next 5 dots, we will include all of the 6s and 1 of the 7ths. Our next 5 dots will include the remaining 7s and all of our 8s. And our last 5 dots are all of our 9s and the 10. So we have essentially our first quarter of data, our second quarter, our third quarter, and our fourth quarter. Now, if we wanted to tell someone the quarters without having to list all of the data values, we essentially need to know 5 pieces of information. We need to know where each quarter starts and ends, and so that will be 5 pieces. The first quarter's start and end, that matches the second quarter's start. We need to know its end. That'll match the third quarter's start. We will need to know its end. And then that's the fourth quarter's start. We need to know the fourth quarter's end. So our first quarter starts at the smallest value. So this is called the minimum. I apologize. Then the break between the first and second quarter lands right in between. So this is our break between the first and second quarter. We call this Q1. This is our first quartile or our lower quartile. Now the break between the second and third quartile, they actually overlap on 7. So since they overlap at 7, we just will swap right at 7. So this will be our median. That's halfway through the data. And then between third and fourth quarter, we swap between 8 and 9. So we'll just go straight through the middle between 8 and 9. We call this Q3. We're 3/4 of the way through the data at this point. So this is what we call the third quartile because we are 3/4 of the way through the data. And then again, we end the fourth quarter at the 10. So we end the first quarter here. This is our maximum. So what we have then is we have our 5-number summary. We have our minimum was 2. Our Q1 is 5. Our median is 7. Q3 is 8.5 or 8.5, halfway between 8 and 9. And our max is 10. So again, we have the first quarter is between the min, so 2, that's our minimum, and 5, Q1. Our second quarter is between 5 and 7. So our Q1 and the median. Our third quarter is between 7 and 8.5. Our median and Q3. And then our fourth quarter, the last quarter, is between 8.5 and 10. And that was our Q3 and our max. In the next video, we're going to take a look at a visual representation of the 5-number summary. And then we will look at how we can go about interpreting the 5-number summary.